following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Wisconsin.
A gorgeous Saturday night for baseball inside Miller Park. The Brewers trying to even up the series against the Houston Astros here in Game 2. The Astros surprising Milwaukee on Friday night. And the Brewers' playoff hopes holding on by a thread. They're 5 games behind St. Louis with only 5 to play, so the math is easy. Milwaukee must win all 5. St. Louis must lose all 5. The Dodgers also figure into the mix, too. They have to lose at least 3. Our pitching matchup, Marco Estrada and Dallas Keuchel on the hill tonight. Estrada is 4-2 over his last 7 starts, but needs a bounce-back game today on the mound for Milwaukee. Ryan Braun is set to supply the offense in more ways than one. He had a 2 RBI double last night, a run, and a key stolen base in Friday's game, but not quite enough to get the Brewers over the hump. Hi, everybody. I'm Craig Kashan. Welcome to Game 2. The Astros and the Brewers here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Ryan Braun hitting milestone after milestone after milestone, especially down the stretch this season. And last night seemed to be no different, this time on the base pass for Ryan Braun, notching his second 30 home run and 30 stolen base campaign. He's the only Brewer ever with back-to-back 30-30 seasons. He also joins Hall of Famer Hank Aaron as the only Milwaukee baseball major leaguers with a 40-30 year. Hank did it back in '63, and check out these numbers. The 2011 MVP enters this game leading the league in 7 major offensive categories, and he's in the top 5 in many, many more. So Ryan Braun ready to strut his stuff one more time in front of the home fans here at Miller Park. And a significant midseason trade has landed Gene Segura in a starting role at shortstop, and he is impressing his new club. Being Rock have the rookie's numbers when we come back.
Wisconsin is presented by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. by Miller Lite, because when friends come together, it's not just a good time, it's Miller time. By Toyota, when you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. The last Saturday night at Miller Park in the regular season. Gene Segura out for some batting practice earlier today. Had 3 hits last night, including a double. He has been a great story this season. The rookie shortstop certainly has been a big part of the recent resurgence for the Milwaukee Brewers. Hi, everybody. We welcome you from Miller Park alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Great to have you with us tonight. The Brewers and the Astros for Game 2 of this series. Obviously, the Brewers know they have to win out. That might not even be enough. They're going to need a miracle at this point. But the Brewers certainly have answered some questions, especially with their young shortstop, who we just saw a moment ago in Gene Segura.
And a guy that really hasn't played shortstop all that long. You'd never be able to tell the way this guy has been able to play. I mean, at the plate, to get off to a slow start, let's think about it. This guy's 22 years old, getting to the big leagues. I think he was a little bit overwhelmed, but as time went on, he started to settle in. He started to get his hits, everything up the middle for Segura. And defensively, he's been outstanding. He's got a tremendous throwing arm, good range, good soft hands. He's got 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts. He's certainly been one of the guys in this lineup, these young players that have certainly got the Brewers to where they got to at the end of the season, and it gives you good hope for next year.
Well, over his last 17 games, of the 39 he's played in the big league, Segura is hitting near 400. Back in the lineup tonight, the Brewers and the Astros. Milwaukee trying to win for the 81st time this year. Look at Rock breaking up last night. That was sweet. Brewers Stros, Game 2 coming up next on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Saturday night for baseball, big tailgating night outside Miller Park, and a good crowd expected here as the Brewers and the Astros get set for the second game of this series. And we can update the final from the Houston-Rice game. The Cougars win at 35-14 at Old Southwest Conference rivalry there. Houston beats Rice as that one has gone final. And we welcome that audience here to Brewers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Tony DeFrancesco is managing the Astros the rest of the season. He says they're just gunning for a 500 month of September. They have a chance to do that. Astros won last night and putting the Brewers on the brink of elimination. Here is Tony D's Astros batting order, brought to you by Piggly Wiggly. Jose Altuve, Scott Moore, and Brett Wallace at the top of the order. Fernando Martinez is their cleanup hitter. Jason Castro and Matt Dominguez in the middle Tyler Green, Brandon Barnes, and Dallas Keuchel rounded out. And the starting 9 that will face Marco Estrada, and he's hoping to totally redeem himself here tonight, partner.
Yeah, he had a rough one against the Nationals. 4 innings. He gave up 6 earned runs, 7 runs overall. Gave up a 6-run 4th inning, and that start right after he had won 2 in a row where he did not allow a run in either start. So Marco Estrada looking to have a bounce back here tonight against the Houston Astros, where he has made 3 starts.
And let's check the defense behind Marco Estrada tonight. Braun, Gomez, Aoki in the outfield. An infield of Ramirez, Segura, Weeks, and Hart. And doing the catching tonight, Jonathan Lucroy. Battery of Lucroy and Estrada, the Menards Brewers defense, as Marco Estrada will make his final start of 2012. Andy Fletcher will call the balls and strikes. Country Joe West at first base. Mike McClinsky and Rob Drake join him on the bases. Roof is closed tonight. Panels are all sealed up as the temperature is expected to drop into the 50s once again tonight. Estrada's first pitch is up high for ball 1 on Jose Altuve, and away we go. .61 degrees outside Miller Park. It is a perfect, comfortable 70 degrees inside this great venue. And the Brewers with 5 more to play here at Miller Park. The Astros today and tomorrow afternoon, and then the Padres are here beginning on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday against San Diego to wrap up the regular season. The Brewers are 5 games back of the Cardinals in the wild card race, the 2nd spot in the wild card, and certainly odds are stacked against them in a big way. They need the Cardinals to lose all 5. The Brewers would need to win all 5, and the Dodgers would have to drop 3 as well. The Dodgers are ahead of Milwaukee right now.
Well, need a lot of help. The Brewers have lost 2 in a row, and they were in a position that they had to pretty much win out. Have not been able to do that.
Ball and a strike on Altuve, and a foul out of play. 1-2 the count. Now tonight is important because Milwaukee is trying to secure their 81st victory, and they have been stymied the last 2 games. And that late inning loss to the Reds on Thursday, and then losing last night to the Astros. 81 wins means a .500 season, which was looking pretty dim when the Brewers were 12 games out or 12 games under, as Altuve takes a breaking ball for a strike. And that's how the night begins for Marco Estrada.
Now this is one of the pitches that Marco had a tough time with against the Nationals, the curveball. Pulls Altuve. It was up in the strike zone, but able to catch the inside corner. It always seems to be one inning when Marco Estrada has a tough start that ends up costing him a game. I mean, he'll cruise along and all of a sudden give up 3 or 4 runs in an inning. Last time out gave up a 6-run 4th inning against the Nationals.
Yeah, and it all started with a pitcher at the plate, Jordan Zimmerman, who had a 2-out RBI hit, and then Washington scored 6 runs with 2 outs and put Estrada in a big hole that he could not get out of, and it turned into to be a lopsided affair. At one point the Nationals led 9-0. So Estrada trying to finish up on a high note. He's had a good year for the Brewers this season, the most starts he has ever made. Estrada making his 23rd start of the year. He took over for Chris Narveson in the rotation. Narveson went out with shoulder surgery. Scott Moore with 1 away here in the first. And he pops this one up. That'll be in the seats.
Well, fastball command very important for Marco, getting ahead in the count and getting hitters in a defensive mode. That's when he's very effective with his changeup. And a good 3-1 fastball in the outside corner to Scott Moore.
Full count And a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts. Marco Estrada, one called, one swinging.
Well, Marco with now 134 strikeouts in 131 innings, so more strikeouts than innings pitched. Somewhat of a surprise for a guy like Estrada, who tops out at about 91 miles an hour.
Milwaukee pitching needs to average 10 strikeouts a game the rest of the season to achieve that major league strikeout record by a pitching staff set by the 03 Chicago Cubs. The Brewers have already established a new franchise record for strikeouts in a season by a staff. A team that is leading the league in homers offensively and stolen bases and runs scored. That would be a nice feat for them to accomplish. It's been a big strikeout year, and getting a lot of strikeouts from some unlikely pitchers. You wouldn't classify Marco Estrada as a big strikeout pitcher, but he's had some big strikeout games this year. Had a 12K game against Cincinnati earlier this year. And 3 times he's been in double digits in strikeouts. There's a fastball, 3-1 the count.
Man, it's not just a starting rotation. Guys out in the bullpen, big strikeout numbers. And that's what it takes when you have the strikeout numbers that the Brewers have been able to rack up this year.
Brett Wallace skies one. Big league pop-up. Ricky Weeks makes the catch, and a good start for Marco Estrada. 1-2-3 with a pair of Ks. Brewers are coming up. In the first, now Ron Renicky ready to roll out his lineup, going for win number 81 of the season here tonight. And the Piggly Wiggly batting order looks like this: Aoki, Weeks, and Braun, Ramirez, Hart, and Lucroy in the middle, and Renicky has Gomez, Segura, and Estrada rounding it out. Dallas Keuchel on the mound for Houston tonight. He's coming off back-to-back wins, and he'll be pitching for the 3rd time against Brewers this season.
Yeah, his last 3 starts, he's been throwing the baseball very well. A 1.10 earned run average in his last 3 starts, but 2 of those 3 starts, he's not able to go 6 innings. But he's been pitching much better. He's won 2 straight.
Aoki leads off. Made the final out last night. He bounced into a double play to end it. And right back in there here tonight. Keuchel spins one in for strike 2. Aoki, Weeks, and Braun to get us started here tonight. Nori comes in with a batting average of .285 as he pulls that one out to Altuve for out number 1. The Astros defensively: Fernando Martinez in left, Brandon Barnes in center with Scott Moore in right. On infield of Matt Dominguez, Tyler Green, the former Cardinal, Altuve, and then Wallace. And Jason Castro back behind the plate. Menard's Astros defense.
Astros played extremely well in last night's ball game. 4 home runs by the Astros and played solid defense. Got good starting pitching. Bullpen did a good job, but the Brewers able to come back. The Astros won by a single run. Guys were swinging the bat well last night.
Yeah, it was an entertaining game. The Brewers made a couple of errors last night, but for the most part, it wasn't a pitcher-friendly night at Miller Park. A lot of offense. And the Brewers kept knocking at the door. They just couldn't bust it open last night, although they were close. Castro had 2 home runs last night. Had 3 home runs all season leading up to last night's game and hit a pair in consecutive at-bats last night. As Ricky Weeks fouls it away. Ricky Weeks hitting .230 starting play today with 20 homers, 61 runs batted in. Ball and 2 strikes on Weeks as Keuchel misses high.
Keuchel doesn't throw very hard. 86 to 88 miles an hour with the fastball, but has a pretty good changeup, and he's been using that pitch very effectively lately. There was a stretch where he had lost 7 straight decisions. But he's won his last 2.
He started the year in the minor leagues. He was called up from AAA Oklahoma City in mid-June and won his second start. As a matter of fact, he went the distance in his second big league start against the Cleveland Indians in interleague play. Gave up just 1 run and picked up his first major league win, and did not win again until September 15th. Now back-to-back victories against the Phillies and the Pirates as Weeks strikes out for out number 2. First strikeout for Keuchel. And that'll bring up Ryan Braun now. Well, last night Braun achieved another milestone. You might remember last year, it was in September, Braun had 2 home runs against the Reds, and that gave him a 30-30 season. Just the second player in franchise history to do it. Braun had 33 homers, 33 steals last year. Well, last night, his 30th stolen base to go along with his 41 home runs, and becoming just the 3rd occasion to do a 30-30 season. Tommy Harper is the other. Braun's done it twice. So 2 players 3 times. And it's a pretty rarefied air across the history of Major League Baseball to go 40-30 in a season.
Nobody having a better year this year in either league than Ryan Braun. When you consider everything that he's able to do to help you win a game.
There have only been 9 different players in the history of baseball to hit at least 40 home runs and steal at least 30 bases. Ball and a strike on Braun. And a slow roller right back to Keuchel. That's a 1-2-3 inning. Brewers go in order in the first. We head to the second. Astros coming up.
Estrada with a 1-2-3 first inning. An update now on Willie Peralta, who threw a bullpen session today. There was some soreness in his right bicep. Ron Renicky says Willie won't pitch again this season. He'll be shut down. He was scheduled to start Tuesday against the Padres. The Brewers haven't decided who will start that day, but Renicky says most likely it will be either Livan Hernandez, Tyler Thornburg, or Josh Stinson. The Brewers taking no chances with their 23-year-old ace and his big arm, guys.
And you can't blame him for that. Peralta left Thursday afternoon's game in Cincinnati with tightness in his bicep, and they will not chance it. So call it a successful 2012 for Willie Peralta.
Yeah, no doubt. Only one start that you could say wasn't a very good one. Yeah, threw well against Cincinnati, but had a rough time against the Nationals.
Gives you a lot of hope moving forward to see an arm like that surface at the major league level.
And it wasn't just his fastball. I mean, reaching 98 miles an hour. What impresses you about Peralta, the other pitches, the curveball, actually the slider and the changeup. Changeup, very impressive. Didn't even know he had one. He was working on one.
2 balls and a strike on Fernando Martinez, who would be probably the most unusual cleanup hitter in all major league lineups today.
And not many cleanup hitters at 219, but he does draw a walk.
So the first blemish against Marco Estrada, a leadoff walk to Martinez, and it'll bring up Jason Castro now. Castro with a career night last night, his first multi-homer game.
And one to left, one to right. He looked good at the plate. Not a guy that you would associate with a big home run total.
And there's a strike on the outside corner. Now Estrada is one of those guys as well that is probably extended a little more than he imagined, and there was a lot of talk about shutting Estrada down prior to September, prior to the Brewers getting on this great run, which really started on August 20th. And I think if the Brewers don't win so many games and put themselves back in the wild card picture, probably would have seen Peralta, Mike Fiers, Marco Estrada, would have seen all those guys shut down for the season. But Ron Renicky knows how important the games were as they started to fight their way back, and had some great efforts from all of those pitchers. That's what's so encouraging about the comeback of the Brewers. If you haven't been with us and you're just picking us up, they were 12 games under 500 on August 19th. It looked like a lost season, and in a month's time they turned it into a pennant race. Renicky was about as down as we've seen him all year last night after the game. A lazy pop-up in foul territory. Hard, easy one here for the first out.
And he wasn't the only one. I think the last couple of games really has taken its toll on this team, especially that game against Cincinnati. And win there, and all of a sudden you are right in the thick of things. But and not the case. But you got to keep going. I mean, until you're mathematically eliminated, you have to go for it. I don't think, even regardless of what happens, I don't think any of these guys want to sit out. They want to keep playing.
Well, the Brewers were a game and a half back last Friday. Going into the ball game Saturday in D.C., they were 1.5 back of the Cardinals. And they've lost 4 out of 5 now, and the Brewers with back-to-back losses. Meanwhile, the Cardinals just keep rolling, and you got to give them some credit as well. They've done a nice job. They have beaten the teams they are supposed to. They had that 9-game stretch against Houston and Chicago. They went 7-2. 6 of those games against Houston. Cardinals play tonight. They will host the Washington Nationals. The Nationals still in a dogfight for the division. Washington coming into play tonight is 4 games up with 5 to play. But they can't shake the Braves.
Yeah, Braves lost an opportunity last night. I mean, both Atlanta and Washington lost last night. An opportunity to pick up another game. It's going to be tough for Atlanta, who's already in the playoffs. But you never know, do you?
How about Washington giving to the Cardinals what they received yesterday? Washington has 4 runs in the first inning in St. Louis tonight. Still batting in the first inning.
And Cardinals, what, 9 runs in the first 2 innings last night?
Yeah, scored 5 in the first against Edwin Jackson. And they're doing that against Kyle Loesch of the Cardinals. So we'll keep an eye on those games. You never know. Oh, and 2 the count on Dominguez with 1 away. Four of the 5 spots for the National League postseason are already in the books. Giants and the Reds winning their divisions. As Dominguez swings and misses. 3rd strikeout for Marco Estrada. 2 gone.
Hey, come out to Miller Park as the Brewers host the San Diego Padres starting on Monday for the final home games of the 2012 season. For tickets, call 414-902-4000. Final series of the year here at Miller Park. Regular season. Still holding on hope.
Woody's got a fan club out there, Rock. Do you see that? Our venerable first base dugout cameraman.
They should be around first base, shouldn't they?
Yeah. I thought he probably could do better than that, get better seats than that, but I guess not. There's Woody giving you all the great shots. Tyler Green at the plate. Former Cardinals shortstop now getting some time here with Houston. Green homered against Milwaukee as an Astro. 2 outs in the Houston 2nd inning. And it goes to 2-1. Great tailgating scene today. Just a billow of smoke above Miller Park as you drove in.
Every day.
Just perfect weather. I mean, it was ideal. Had the tents out, and nobody does tailgating better than Wisconsinites.
Got to watch the bees though this time of year.
Good point.
Cover the drink.
They don't want to swallow a bee. That happens. Just a little rattle.
I'm sure you've been stung by a bee, right?
I have. I got stung by a bee. You'll love this story, Rock. I was catching my brother mid-pitch, right in the neck.
Wow.
I caught it, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
You know. Got to finish the play. Then he came over and he pulled the stinger out.
And then roll around in agony.
Squealed like a girl. Didn't hurt as bad as I thought it would.
Feels good when it stops hurting.
Yeah. That's the line of the year, Rock. Full count to Green. Runner goes, and a line drive deep center field. Gomez runs it down. Carlos Gomez. He's made play after play this year. Add another one to the reel. Gomez tracks it down. Look how much ground he covers. Brewers coming up as Aramis Ramirez will lead off. Tonight's Subway Sub Prize on the line is the National League wild card race. You see the Atlanta Braves, they've secured a postseason berth, and they are 6 up on the St. Louis Cardinals. They will host a wild card game, or they could still win the division. Then the Cardinals, the Dodgers chasing. Lights are dimming for the Dodgers and the Brew Crew at this point. Aramis Ramirez to start it against Keuchel. He's homered against this pitcher. 4 for 6 against him this season, including that home run. As Ramirez takes a strike. Well, stay with us. We're going to be joined by Doug Melvin in the 3rd inning. We'll catch up with the Brewers general manager. It's a fan appreciation weekend here at Miller Park.
Giving away a car tonight. 2013 Camaro.
Employees are not eligible, Rob.
No. Nice car, though. I saw it.
Convertible days coming to an end here in Wisconsin. Two and 2 on Ramirez. He got jammed. He pulls it foul. Aramis still making a bid at that franchise record for doubles in a season. He needs 3. I thought when he popped his 50th double of the season that was going to be a done deal, but it just gives you an idea how tough it is.
They hit a triple last night.
He thought about stopping, but
should have, right? He's a team player.
Yeah, he is. Had a triple last night, drove in a run. What a great year. Ramirez with 101 runs batted in, 26 homers. Comes into play today batting .296. That one's in the air, deep left center field. That is way back. Got a chance. There it goes. Aramis Ramirez, number 27, and the Brewers have a 1-0 lead as Ramirez hits his 2nd home run of the year against Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah, got a little bit too much of the play. It looked like a cutter. And he continues to swing the bat well against Keuchel. Now 5 for 7 with a couple of homers, and Keuchel missed his spot. That's the 12th home run he's given up. Number 27 for Ramirez, deep into left center.
Here's Corey Hart now, takes one up and away. So Ramirez, number 27, gives him 102 runs batted in. A tremendous season. It gives him an opportunity to hit 30 this year. And 4 games remaining after today.
Well, he's basically doing this year what he's done throughout his career. I mean, no surprise that he's doing this. Year after year, he's just a good run producer, very consistent year to year.
Somehow Doug Melvin and Ron Renicky are going to have to convince Aramis Ramirez that opening day next year is actually mid-June. Something like that.
Maybe bring him down in January to start spring training.
Yeah. Get him a few games in. Tell him you're 50, 60 games into the season.
You can only imagine how many RBIs he would have if he gets off to a good start, which he very rarely ever has.
3-1 to Hart, and that ball's hit well, deep left center field, way back and out of here. Back-to-back home runs as Corey Hart, a la Kirk Gibson, hobbles around the bases.
You got to tip your hat to Corey Hart for being out there. He is in a lot of pain. And a happy jog around the bases that time. All taped up, getting treatment every day. Another cut fastball that was supposed to backdoor the outside corner, and looked as though Hart was waiting for it, able to hook it out of here. hit the bag, and I think it didn't feel too good.
Yeah, left foot has torn plantar fascia in the arch of his foot.
Everything was fine until he hit the bag.
He wasn't sure if it was going out, so he tried to step on it a little bit in case he needed to leg it out. And he got to jog the rest of the way. Good for Hart, number 29 of the year. That gives him 80 runs batted in for the season. Boy, what a trio. Braun, Ramirez, and Corey Hart on the updated Powerball home run leaderboard. Hart pushing 30. Ramirez 3 away from a 30 homer season.
3 more home runs for the Brewers, and they have 200 for the season.
Lucroy breaks his bat. That will fall. A base hit. So a single after the 2 homers. Keuchel has not retired a Brewer in the second inning.
And Lucroy staying on this pitch nicely. Off-speed pitch, and he broke his bat, but able to dump it into center field. And the beat goes on here in the second inning.
And now Carlos Gomez having a career year with the long ball as well. Hit number 18 last night. Gomez has homered in back-to-back games. Responsible for the only run in Cincinnati on Thursday, an opposite field home run. Most of his home runs are from center field to left. He's a pull home run hitter. That's why it was encouraging to see him go opposite field in Cincinnati. Gomez to the opposite field. That is down foul. Just foul. Close call.
And not by much. Little slice job down the right field line. And that would have been interesting to watch Gomez run. Might have caught Ramirez. Or I should say Lucroy.
Not by much.
Yeah, about a foot.
How about Carlos Gomez? You look at his first 70 games, hitting .233, was injured, came back, .277, a bunch of home runs as well, 13 of them over the last 62. And Gomez still has a chance to win the stolen base crown this year. Michael Bourne is the National League leader in stolen bases with 39. Gomez has 36 starting play today. Rips out and foul from line to line.
Yep, covering both sides of the plate pretty well. Change up on the outside corner, dumps it, tried to get it down the right field line. Then he tried to come to the cutter and hooked it foul to left.
Two and two on Gomez. Now, just as rare as it is to see a player hit 40 homers and steal 30 bases, rare to see a player hit at least 20 homers and steal 40 as Gomez strikes out. Mike Trout's the only other one to do it this year in the league, in the American League. Gomez retired, it's first out, second strikeout, and that'll bring up Gene Segura. We talked about Segura during our open today, and this guy has been on some kind of roll at the plate rock over his last 17 games. He's hitting .396.
And just watch the way he just stays back. He's allowing the baseball to get to him. He had 3 hits yesterday. 1 to center, 1 to right, 1 to left. He's hitting it where it's pitched, and he's up there showing a lot of confidence. Very relaxed up at the plate, letting the ball travel and putting a good swing on it.
Segura had 3 hits last night against Houston, giving him 8 hits for the season against the Astros. He's 8 for 15, a .533 batting average against the Astros. And his second 3-hit game of his career last night. Still looking for his first big league home run. Talking to Johnny Naran, the Brewers hitting coach. He said he thinks Segura is going to hit some home runs in the big leagues. He regularly goes up into the second level in batting practice, which showed you he's got power.
I think John just assumed have him do what he's been doing.
Don't want him to get home run happy,
hitting the ball where it's pitched, getting on, stealing some bases. He's done a pretty good job in that number 8 spot that ordinarily is not an easy spot to hit. Hitting in front of the pitcher.
How about that September? The key piece in the Zach Greinke deal coming over from the Angels. Never played above Double-A until this season. He made 1 start at short for the Angels this year. And has been a regular here in the final month of the season.
Showing good patience in this at bat. This is what makes hitting in front of the pitcher tough. I mean, pitchers will try and get you to swing out of the zone. Scorer needs to stay disciplined, and he has been so far in this at bat.
Still just 1 out. Back-to-back homers to start the inning. 2-0 the Brewers lead. And Segura takes ball 4. Walked him on 4 straight. First walk issued by Keuchel, and now 2 on for Marco Estrada. That'll give us a chance to look at our carsoup.com email the booth question tonight. Sam in Jefferson, what is your favorite thing about Miller Park?
That's a trick question. I like everything about Miller Park. The fact that the Brewers win here a lot has a lot to do with liking to be here. The roof. How many games has the roof saved us here at this ballpark? The fans and their support. How about the food?
Yeah, all that's good. I go with the roof.
I think you'd have an easier time answering the question, what don't you like about Miller Park? Really can't think of anything.
Well, you played at County Stadium, and you certainly did this job at County Stadium, and it changes everything having that roof and knowing you're going to play and the climate controlled.
Well, the conditions and the facilities that the players get to enjoy and the fan experience, it's an amazing place.
The Brewers are 46-30 here in their home ballpark this year. 16 over 500. Two on, 1 out. Estrada trying to bunt him over right in front of the plate. It's a good one. Castro will make the play. And a sacrifice bunt for Marco Estrada, advancing both runners.
An excellent bunt. I mean, with everybody crashing like that, that's about the only way you're going to be able to get the man over. Just deaden it right in front of home plate, and that's what he did. Check out the corners coming in. You can't see him, but good technique. He gets that bat out in front. Catches the baseball at the end of the bat, and that's about the only spot you can bunt that baseball and advance the runner. Marco's had a nice year this year.
So here is Aoki now. And a base hit could add 2 more to this 2-0 lead for the Brew Crew. As Estrada with his 3rd sac bunt, Aoki fouls it away. Nori Aoki has as many home runs as Joe Mauer. Surprising power from Aoki this season. Hit number 10 in Cincinnati. It's jammed, a little flare, tough play, that will fall, and 2 runs will score. Segura flying around the bases. Off of the crack of the bat with 2 outs, and Aoki picks up a pair of RBIs. The Brewers have a 4-0 lead.
Good patience by Gene Segura, then Estrada able to get the bunt down, and Aoki didn't hit it very hard, a hanging curveball, but able to pull the hands in. Watch him pull the hands in and try and get enough of that baseball. Just dumps it into center field, and with 2 outs, Jean Segura flying around third base. Scores run number 4.
So Segura draws a walk, a 4-pitch walk, comes around to score. 2 RBIs for Nori Aoki gives him 50 for the season. And here is Ricky Weeks. Pitch out, nothing on. Aoki's been a big stolen base threat as well. He has 28 steals this year. What an inning for Milwaukee. 4 runs in, back-to-back homers to start the inning. 4 runs on 4 hits and a walk.
Yeah, 28 for 35 is okay, not a bad percentage. Anytime you're around 70 to 75%, you're doing a pretty good job.
Well, for years, Ricky Weeks had the leadoff spot to himself. He flourished in that role as well. He was an all-star as a leadoff hitter. Big power threat at the top of the order. But Aoki fits the bill a little bit better. And that's been his job for just about all of the second half of the season. 2-0 on Weeks. Bouncing ball to short. And Green will make the play to end the inning. Good inning. The Brewers score 4. Started with back-to-back homers. Aramis Ramirez, number 27. Followed by Corey Hart, who popped his 29th of the year. The official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Saturday night at Miller Park, Milwaukee. And the Brewers have a 4-0 lead as we go to the 3rd inning. And we're pleased to be joined now by the Brewers GM Doug Melvin. And Doug, great to have you with us. We had a chance to talk to Mark Atanasio last night. I'm sure you're having mixed emotions right now. It's been a great comeback for the Brewers, but certainly it's going to be tough to accomplish your ultimate goal at this point.
I wish we had about 2 more weeks left, but you know, we're still we're going to be like the Seattle Seahawks and play it right till the end, till the last play. And and that. But yeah, it's a lot of good things have come out of our season, even though it's been disappointing. We're not satisfied with where we're going to end up. You build your club. I've always said, in a market like ours, you build your club for 85, 86 wins, and hope that the baseball gods are on your side, and they were last year. We stayed healthy. We had all 5 starters pitching in the rotation the entire year. That's what the Reds have had this year. So, you know, that's one of the key things. You get big years out of somebody maybe you didn't count on. We did that with Niger last year. Aoki's doing it this year for us. But a lot of good things happened. Great things happened last year. A lot of good things happened this year. But you know, we're still in it. I'm not going to eliminate. You know, the Cardinals teams do have 5- and 6-game losing streaks and 5- and 6-game winning streaks. So we're ahead 4-0. I see they're losing, so we're still scoreboard watching.
Yeah, might as well. And the Brewers are 5 back of the Cardinals with 5 to play. St. Louis occupies that second wild card spot. As you go through the season, and as we watch Willie Peralta emerge, Mark Rogers, Mike Fiers, Tyler Thornburg, even. I guess the news of the day today is Willie Peralta. Can you just kind of take us through the decision making as the sack bunt is dropped down by Keuchel? The decision making on shutting him down for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I think he threw the side. I haven't been downstairs today yet, but threw out in the bullpen, and I think still had a little bit of tightness. So the best thing is for him not to pitch. It doesn't appear to be anything serious, nothing elbow related. Probably could be some fatigue, but while he's still got tightness, we might as well just get it treated. And I think he went out there and showed the kind of ability he has, and we've had a lot of people that have believed in him up to this point. I know halfway through this year he was at a point where consideration of sending him to Double-A to try to get on track, but we stayed with him. Fred Dabney's done an outstanding job with a lot of our pitchers through our system at Triple-A, and you could see his stuff and how he pitched against Cincinnati the other day in the game against Miami, and he can fit in. You're always looking at that number 1, 2, 3 starter candidates, and he's definitely one of those guys that has that kind of ability.
And looking forward, I mean, you got to be excited about going into 2013. Not to minimize, this season's not over yet, but you know, looking to 2013, I mean, potentially you could have a pretty young starting rotation. How would that affect what you do with the rest of your ball club?
Well, you know, it's the other part of it is that from a positional standpoint, we like our club positional wise too. We don't have any free agents out there. We've gone along. We've ended up finding ourselves a shortstop now. We had no shortstop. I'd say 2.5 years ago we had no catching. We got LaCroix and we have Maldonado now. We got a center fielder in Gomez that's got a chance to be out there playing every day. Another year with him. So we have a lot of people returning. You know, a couple of the guys in the bullpen will be evaluated. Will be evaluated, and then we'll make some decisions there. But you know, we got John Axford's back, Jim Henderson's back, so there's a lot of talent still here that's going to return, and that's what's very encouraging for our fans. I hope they see the same thing, and I think they do by coming out here this week and showing the appreciation. We appreciate what they contribute as part of our winning process, and that, so they see that too, and that's what's encouraging about next year.
Now these inexperienced guys, you talked about Henderson, you talked about Segura, these guys, some of your young pitchers.
Oh, Ricky Weeks makes the play, and a double play to end the inning. Oh man, what a catch. Ricky Weeks showing the hops. Goes up the ladder and brings home a line drive off the bat of Altuve. Turns it into 2 outs. More with Doug Melvin when we continue.
Drive off the bat of Altuve, a perfectly timed leap. Our Pizza Hut delivery of the game. A Ricky Weeks to Segura double play. Gets it into Webbing and an easy 4-6 double play ending the inning. Altuve robbed of a base hit.
He's been a tough out for the Brewers all season long. So here we go to the bottom of the third. Doug Melvin continues with us here in the booth as Ryan Braun will step up to lead off this third inning. And we're certainly looking at Ryan Braun's year, looking at his numbers, and it's an MVP season for Braun as he shoots one into right field for a base hit. We hear a lot of the arguments, Doug, about Braun, and we give him a lot, and he certainly is deserving of the accolades. But is there anything that you see with Ryan Braun that helps sway your opinion of the MVP vote at this point?
Yeah, I don't think there should be any arguments. And you know, he's gone out there and proved that he's one of the best players in the game, consistent. You know, to have the power, the speed, the stolen base ability, the play in left field. There's not anybody else around that has done that as consistent as Ryan Braun since he's come up here with his career. And you know, he performed when we had our hot streak here too. So I don't see why he would not be voted as MVP.
It just seems like every year he gets better and better and better. What can you anticipate for him for next year? I mean, the sky's the limit for this guy.
Yeah, you know, you just saw him take that ball to right field. He's just such a pure hitter, and reminds me a lot of the one player that I see a lot of is Larry Walker.
There's Ramirez, a base hit to center field.
The ability to, like I said, hit for power. He can run the base. He's probably one of the top base runners in the game too. But there's a lot of similarities to a Larry Walker in that regard. And he's very clutch. Obviously, he wins a lot of ball games for you. And you sit there every ninth inning if you're down a run, even like last night, get to Bronny. But he's that kind of player. And they come along. I told Mark, I said, you know, we're going to get spoiled here, but these kind of players come along only every 15 years or so. You know, when Robin came along and Robin Yount and Paul Molitor, look how many years it took before you get that kind of a player. And we had him in Fielder and Ryan. It's nice Ryan signed here that I don't have to worry about that.
And he's been playing a bit nicked up this year. I mean, he's had some issues that he's been able to play through. He's had recently the wrist and the groin injury, and he's still been able to stay out in the field. A guy that understands that he's needed in that lineup, even if he's not 100%.
Yeah, and he knows his own body. He knows what he can, what he can take, and I think that comes with maturity and with playing, and as you get a little bit older too, and that too, he knows what injuries he can play through. He knows he's smart enough to know maybe this is a day I should go in and tell Ron it'd be best if I take a day off. So that comes along with maturity and also with the playing time as he gains more experience.
Well, you've assembled a great tandem, but also, if you could take it one step further, with a great trio of run producers. Corey Hart being the third in that group. No trio in Major League Baseball has produced more runs than Braun, Ramirez, and Corey Hart. And Hart has maybe changed some things for the organization because of his play at first base this year. Has he surprised you there?
Yeah, he's played first base very well. I wasn't quite sure myself. He hadn't played there in a number of years. And, you know, I'm just a big believer that there's so much to learn on the fundamentals of every position. I'm not a big believer that anybody can just play first base. I think it's as important as a lot of other positions. They handle the ball more. They're involved in a lot of the game. They have to throw a lot too. They got to be prepared with pitchers' pickoff moves and all that. I thought it would be a big adjustment for him, but he's taken to the position very well.
That ball's hit deep, right field, way back, and it's gone. Corey Hart with his second home run and as many at bats, and that gives him 30 for the season. It's a 3-run homer. And Corey Hart makes it 7-0 Brewers. What a year. On 1 foot, essentially.
Yeah. His first home run was the most agonizing home run trot I've ever seen anybody make. I thought home runs were supposed to be fun.
Right.
And he was grimacing around the bases. This one, Looks like he got a more of a smile on his face.
Yeah, typical Corey Hart home run, high and deep. You just don't never seem to come down. And
there's that smile turning around to the dugout. He got number 30 under his belt tonight.
Well, I'm a big believer in ballparks, ballpark effects, and our club is built for this ballpark. That's why we love it here. We play well here. We got a great lineup that, you know, this ballpark, hitters can go opposite field and hit home runs. And you know, it's tougher, a little tougher on pitchers though too when you're in a hitter's ballpark like this. But you know, it's always allowed us to have a very good home record, which allows your fans to come out and get excited and feel like you're in the ball game at all times. But this ballpark offensively, our guys hit well here. Sometimes it makes it a little tougher for a pitcher. You might not try to go away on a right-handed hitter, but you also know if you miss, it might end up in the right field seats. But there's some ballparks in the major leagues that you just can't go opposite field home runs, and that's why they're pitchers' ballparks. So that's one of the there's tons of statistics out there, but that's one that I really think does have an impact on putting your ball clubs together.
Well, the Brewers now leading 7-0. They are well on their way to a 200 home run season again. Corey Hart has just hit his 30th of the year, the second time in his career he's hit 30. He did it back in 2010. And we just talked to Corey on the last road trip. We sat down with him for an interview for Brewers Live, and because of the ballpark and the way it plays, the fan base, he loves it here, and he's already made it public. He wants to stay. He wants to stay for a long time. He's wondering if he had a 10-year deal waiting for him, but he does enjoy it here. And the bigger question is that things have changed here. You know, Mark, we had Mark on yesterday and we talked about the culture of this franchise, but you're getting to a point where a guy like Aramis Ramirez wants to play in Milwaukee. Corey Hart wants to stay in Milwaukee, and that's got to be satisfying for you.
Yeah, it's good. And I've heard that before. A lot of players want to stay and play here, and one of them's playing with the Yankees, one of them's with the Angels now, and one of them's with the Astros, or was with the Astros. So I've heard that before. You know, from the players, which is very encouraging. The players want to play here. That's a big part of it, and that's the kind of culture and the kind of atmosphere that Mark Attanasio as an owner has created here. We want to win. That's a big selling point. The travel in this division is the fewest number of miles, air miles. That's a selling point. You're drawing 2.8 to 3 million people. That's a selling point. You have the roof over your head. You know you're going to play every day. That's a selling point. You got two of the best TV broadcasters in the game.
Nice.
I don't know if that's a selling point. I didn't finish.
Who are you talking about?
That was beautiful. Yeah.
So have I sold you on?
I'm ready to sign up, man.
But no, there's a lot of good things here about Milwaukee. You know, also in the summer, at the city itself treats you very well. So we do have a lot of players say that. We have players tell our other players, you know, when they get close to free agency, that our market is now a consideration when they become free agents.
I mean, look at the crowds every single night here. I mean, the Brewers just were on a road trip.
Yeah. Pittsburgh,
Washington, Cincinnati. Crowds were not very good. You know, Washington, they were drawing pretty well, but you're talking about contending teams that have not really been, you know, putting the people in the seats, but that's not an issue around here. Regardless, I mean, people come out here.
And I think the other thing is that we have a manager in Ron Renneke who word's getting around that, you know, he'll have conversation with you. He'll listen to you. He communicates very well, and he and his coaching staff, you know, building a reputation that, from a player standpoint, would, you know, don't have a lot of turmoil or don't have a lot of things going wrong. So that's another selling point. So we got a lot of things going for us in that. So are always hoping to be contenders, and we have some good. That, you know, the challenges you always get faced with though in this game is when you have some good young players coming along and players get close to free agency. You know, we're never going to be $110, $120 million payroll. TV contracts are getting much greater and larger for other markets, and so when we have young players come along, that's always the challenge for me as a general manager and Mark as an owner and our baseball people, is to decide if young players are coming along. You know, we traded Lyle Overbay when he hit 53 doubles and hit 290 because Prince Fielder was ready in that regard. So, you know, you always have to weigh that when that happens. It's nice to know we have some young pitching coming along. And
as Gomez dumps one into shallow right and turns it into a double. Wow. Flying around the bases, Carlos Gomez.
When we traded for Greinke and Markham, the plan was trading for Greinke and Markham. The chances of keeping them might be slim, but we had to have pitchers ready to step in when we lost them, or if they decided to move on. And Willie Peralta and Michael Fiers may be those two guys. So Tyler Thornburg, a guy, Hiram Burgos is a guy that's got a chance to make our club next year, or pitch somewhere here next year, could be ready. So you know, Jimmy Nelson had a great year in the Florida State League, went to Double-A, hit a few bumps in the road. So we do have some pitching coming along, and that was the plan. That if we went with Greinke and Markham, we're going to have some pitching coming along, and you know, getting the exposure, as Bill said earlier, the exposure here in August and September is so much better than exposure in spring training in Maryvale. This is games that are for real. This has the third deck on the ballparks. This has 40,000 people. So you're facing major league players every night. So there's so much that we got out of August and September with some of these younger players, and that they're going to get out of it by being up here.
Well, as you start to look ahead, what's priority number one for you? I mean, is it relief pitching? Is it a starting pitcher?
Well,
are you ready to commit to that at this point?
Yeah, you know, we'll sit down. We got a lot of smart people work here, and we'll sit down and try to figure that out. What is the most important thing, and you know, it's got to be what's available too. I don't think we're a club that's going to go and be dealing our young players. So to make a trade that may not be as easy to make, free agency, I don't think we're going to get heavily involved in free agency. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see where that comes along. We'll sit down, talk to our people. My feeling is you always need pitching. Pitching staffs always turn over. Pitching staffs, you could have injuries. You know, this year we got 21 starts out of Zach. We got 20 out of Markham. So we only had 41 starts out of Greinke and Markham this year. And as much as our bullpen has had its ups and downs, they pitched way more innings than last year.
Wow.
And if you have starting pitching, basically Cincinnati did this year what we did last year. They had 5 starters this year that never missed a start. So they have the fewest, 419 innings out of their bullpen this year, the second fewest innings in all of baseball. And we have the 4th most innings in all of baseball out of our bullpen. And that's because we didn't get as many innings out of our starters. So sometimes your bullpen's better if your starting pitching's going deeper into games and you stay healthy. And we had some hiccups with the starting pitching, which again weakens the link to the bullpen. So they go hand in hand.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
And so that's why, you know, last year Cincinnati's problem was their bullpen. That's why they went and got Marshall. They signed Matz and that. But their bullpen's been strong this year. But it's been strong because their starting pitching's been very strong.
And ever since I've known you around here in Milwaukee, you always say the toughest thing to anticipate is how relief pitchers are going to do year after year, because sometimes they'll have a great year, then they'll be off a little bit, and to anticipate and try and figure what they're going to do next year is kind of a tough thing to do.
Well, Fernando Rodney is probably the best example. Did not pitch very well for the Angels last year. The Angels obviously want to be in a pennant race, and he was let go. They didn't bring him back, and now he's one of the best relief pitchers in the game.
Could get some Cy Young votes.
Yeah, pitching with what, 0.6 something ERA with Tampa Bay. Might be shooting that arrow in the sky or whatever he's doing there. That might have made the difference. But he's pitched well. So that happens with Brad Lidge was with the Astros the one year and struggled. I remember he blew a lot of games, everything. So he got traded to the Phillies and went 43 saves and no blown saves.
Big part of their World Series title.
Yeah, exactly. And I look at closers. They have slumps. Hitters have slumps. We went through Ricky's slump for a month. You know, John Axford this year, you know, he's got 10 blown saves. He had 3 in June, 3 in July. The other 4 months, he's got 26 saves and only 3 blown saves. So, you know, a couple hiccups in June and July. There was 3 blown saves in those 2 months. So the bullpen, that happens sometimes. Bullpen guys do have slumps, but when they have them, then that's a nice swing.
Yes, Segura. Oh, lays out in center field. Barnes. He makes a great catch, and he will finish off the double play. That was something special. Wow. Doug, great stuff. Always enjoy visiting with you, and best of luck this offseason. We appreciate everything you've done for us this year.
And no games next week for me to do. Huh?
Who are the best broadcasters?
Good pop from the GM.
To take the pulse of social media. It's an election year. There's a lot of campaigning going on. And tonight we want fans to do some campaigning of their own. We just heard from Doug Melvin. He called Ryan Braun one of the best in the game. And tonight we ask fans, if you had to make a case for Ryan Braun for MVP, what would you say and why? We've had the pleasure of watching Braun put together an unbelievable season. We'd like to hear from you at FS Wisconsin with the hashtag BraunMVP. BA, a line that you've used throughout the season is he's doing what MVPs do. So maybe you could use that as a slogan for Braun's MVP campaign.
I'm going to copyright that. It's going to cost him. But I'm all in. I think he should win the Most Valuable Player award. I think you get some arguments in San Francisco. I think Buster Posey is certainly having an MVP type season, but most of Posey's damage, I mean, he's been a great player all year, but he's had a great second half. Buster Posey. Braun, from the get-go, has really produced, and he just continues to put up the big numbers.
Yeah, Buster Posey, probably Yadier Molina is making a case for MVP.
Well, any way you cut it, if you want to go into some of the metrics, and wins above replacement is a big metric that a lot of voters look at. The WAR stat. Only Mike Trout has a higher wins above replacement statistic, a number. Braun's WAR is 8.2 according to Fangraphs, and that's the best in the National League. And that's a significant stat for a lot of voters. And I think if you want to go more traditional stats, home runs, he leads the league. RBIs, he leads the league. If you want to get into the Bill Schroeder meat and taters, he's got that covered. If you want to go into some of the deeper metrics, he's got that covered as well. I think where Posey comes into the picture is because he catches a much more demanding position. As Scott Moore singles into center field, as does Yadier Molina. Now, if the Brewers don't fight their way back into a pennant race, I don't think Braun has a chance to win it. For the same reason Matt Kemp didn't win it last year, and Ryan Braun did, because when you produce in a pennant race, it's different. The at-bats are different. There's more pressure. And Braun did that because the Brewers played their way back. And technically still in a pennant race.
Well, the fact that the month of September, we're important games with respect to that wild card.
that is essentially enough for Ryan Braun. You know, and the Brewers, they don't have to be in it, you know, all the way up to the end. The importance of the games, the importance of at bats, how you get pitched, makes a big difference.
Well, he is only the 9th player to produce a 40-30 season in the history of Major League Baseball. It's been done 11 times now by 9 different players, and Braun is one of those. And it has not been done since the 06 season. Statistically, it's astonishing what he's been able to do.
I mean, year after year after year has not had a down season. And it's not that easy. He makes it look easy. And it's not.
Going to be an interesting vote this year. Red Wallace, and the 1-2 fouled away. 7-0 Brewers. We've seen 2 great catches that have turned into double plays. The last one, the best of the night, by the Astros center fielder Brandon Barnes. We'll give you another look at that play in a moment. That was something. Rudely interrupted our terrific conversation with Doug Melvin. Always enjoy when Doug comes on the air with us, and we appreciate him doing that. We try to get him on once a homestand, and
it was nice you tried to get Corey Hart a 10-year deal.
Yeah, that was
good.
Well, there's a little something in it for me. You know, I already worked out a deal with Corey, and 10% will be fine, and doing my best for you, pal.
That was a good look he gave you.
It's nice that he hit 2 homers while Doug Melvin was sitting in here. There's a base hit to right. So Wallace with a single. And 2 on. Let's check our AT&T trivia. Who was the first MLB player to have a 40-30 season? 40 homers, 30 stolen bases. Who was the first one to do it? That's a good question. Baseball's been around since the late 1800s, called the modern era since 1901 season. The live ball era since 1920. Just to give you some markers to think about a 40-30 season. I'll give you a hint. It wasn't until the 60s that it was accomplished.
That's an awful lot of home runs back in the 60s. 40. It's an impressive feat to do it these days, but even more impressive back in those days.
Yep. Those big bats, big ballparks.
Not as many teams.
And they didn't throw every ball out either, which sounds like a small thing, but it's not when you're a hitter. Pickoff play, and out at second. Moore is out, picked off second base.
Wow, down by 7 runs. Not much you can say about that. Talk about a bad base running play, huh? Not sure why he's getting a big lead, but good job by Segura. Get it in the glove, right on top of Scott Moore, and he's an out at second base. It was close. Mike McClinsky rings him up. 7-0, getting picked off at second.
Shouldn't even be that close. Martinez fouls it back, 0-2 the count.
That's another thing you like about Segura. He does that all the time. He's always sneaking in behind a runner.
And he's so quick, he can get there like a flash. That is one stat that has been significantly up. Pickoff attempts at second base now that Segura has taken over at short. 0-2 pitch, and it's upstairs for a ball. The Southern California native Marco Estrada, born in Mexico but raised in California. Close, almost hit him. The starter for the Astros tonight, Dallas Keuchel, goes 2 1/3. 8 runs, or rather 8 hits and 7 runs tonight. There's a strike called. Martinez got caught guessing. So 2 outs in the inning. So let's take you back to the catch in the bottom of the 3rd inning off the bat of Segura. Center fielder Brandon Barnes. Boy, what a play. I mean, full extension. The presence of mind to get up quickly, knowing Gomez is running. And a double play. That was a terrific play.
Tremendous play. Good job. Knowing that the Astros couldn't fall any further behind, that ball gets into the gap, and it's an 8-0 game.
Yeah, it could be 9-0. We might see Segura go all the way around. That's in the gap as fast as he is. Two away for Jason Castro. Brewers have had 3 home runs tonight, back-to-back from Ramirez and Hart in the 2nd. Hart then homered last inning, giving him 30 home runs for the season. And playing an exceptional first base this year. Bouncing ball to Weeks. Over to Hart, and the side is retired. 4 shutout innings for Marco Estrada. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Brewers coming up.
Bottom 4 and time for crew in the community. Ricky Weeks, the Brewers nominee for the 2012 Clemente Award, recognized by the ball club before tonight's game for his outstanding work in the community. Clemente Award nominees were chosen for their efforts in giving back to the community in addition to their ability on the field. You can vote for Ricky to win the award at MLB.com/Clemente Award through October 14th. Ricky Weeks, a deserving nominee, guys.
Yes, indeed, and he's very proud of that nomination and very deserving of it. Ricky does a great job in a number of charitable areas, especially in the diabetes research area, and has a family history of that. It's affected his life, and as it has many of us. So congratulations to Ricky Weeks. Well done. Marco Estrada ready to lead off. The Brewers lead 7-0. Been a fun night at the ballpark. A lot of offense already. 7 runs on 8 hits, 3 home runs. This is the Brewers ball club doing what they do best. Going to lead the league in homers. Going to lead the league in stolen bases, which is an unusual feat. Hasn't been done since '96. Little tapper to the mound. Chucky Fick makes a play for the first out. Top of the order now, Nori Aoki. Over in St. Louis, the Nationals lead 4-0 still. That game's at the bottom of the fourth. Michael Morse hit a grand slam in the first inning off Kyle Loesch.
They had to review that home run. Initially not called a home run. After further review, a grand slam.
Overruled. Jordan Zimmerman is pitching tonight for the Nationals. The Wisconsin native played his college ball at Stevens Point.
Good chance he's going to have a pretty good shot at a Cy Young Award someday. I mean, he keeps throwing the way he's been throwing. Well, he looked good against the Brewers in Washington.
He's the kind of guy that in the postseason could blossom into a national star. He's already a star in Washington, D.C., but you put him on a national stage, if he pitches like he's capable, then look out. Looks like he'll slot in number 2. They talked about maybe making Zimmerman their #1 postseason starter, but it's going to be hard to argue with Gio Gonzalez. Gonzalez is a 20-game winner. He is going to make a run at a Cy Young Award this year. Aoki down the line. That is a fair ball. Bounces off the wall. And another double for Nori Aoki. He's already the Brewers' record holder among rookies for doubles. He passed Prince Fielder on the last road trip, and he extends that number with a double here with one away.
I mean, it just keeps driving the ball to all fields. This one right down that left field line. Staying back and giving it a pretty good ride, about a foot inside that left field line. And a one-out double for Aoki. He's really having a nice finish to his season.
It's his 37th double. That leads all rookies. And every double from here on out sets a new franchise record for him. Now Weeks with the runner at second and one away. They had a thrilling finish today in Oakland. I don't know if you caught any of that, Rock. They hit. So the A's were down 4-1 going into the bottom of the 8th. They scored a run in the 8th, and then they got a 2-run 9th inning homer to tie it, then a 3-run homer in the 10th inning to win it. Been some pretty dramatic finishes over the American League, and no playoff spots have been determined yet in the American League, and we're inside a week here. Got 5 days left. So the A's beat the Mariners in 10 innings in a comeback. The Angels are playing the Rangers tonight. They were postponed, actually. They're going to have to play a doubleheader tomorrow. What's a doubleheader do for you on a Sunday, the last Sunday of the season?
Yeah, I mean, that beats up your pitching, your bullpens. Of course, September not a bad time to, you know, be forced to play a doubleheader with the expanded rosters, but still in all, not exactly what you want. Very tough to sweep a doubleheader.
Weeks pops this one up, and Moore will make the catch for the out. 2 gone, and that'll bring up Ryan Braun. Back to our AT&T trivia question. You know, Braun has the 40-30 season. We're wondering who is the first MLB player to have a 40-30 season. Hammer and Hank for the Milwaukee Braves, 1963, hit 44 home runs, matching the number on his back, and had 31 steals. So that's a list. It's been done 11 times by 9 different players. And Braun the latest to do it, and for the first time since Alfonso Soriano back in '06. Astros had Jeff Bagwell do it twice. Barry Bonds did it twice.
A lot of those guys, just about every one of them except Hank, recent. Amazing player, Hank Aaron. The way you delve into his stats. Wow.
Just the consistency. You know, he wasn't a big home run hitter per season. I mean, he hit a lot of home runs and is probably the true home run champion. Barry Bonds has more home runs than any other player. But Hammerin' Hank was just amazingly consistent. Longevity.
Took great care of himself. Bob Uecker has some great stories about Hank. Or I should say Mr. Aaron.
Right. Yeah, Bob Uecker says he tried to teach him how to hit the curveball. And had Hank listened to him and taken his advice, he never would have hit any home runs. He gave him what not to do. "23 years Hank Aaron played. Never hit more than 50 homers. Never had a 50 homer season, but that 44 number was a big one for him. That year in '63 when he went 40-30, that was the year he led the league in homers. I was just checking on that season. You know, he led the league in homers, RBIs, stolen bases, just about every major category, and he finished third in the MVP voting that year.
How about that?
In '63, Sandy Koufax won the MVP that season, a pitcher. Pitchers have their own awards. As Braun draws the walk.
You're just saying that because I'm here? You don't believe that. Raleigh Fingers didn't believe that.
Justin Verlander last year.
Right.
It is a game infatuated by round numbers. And when you hit a mark like a 30 homer season, 40 homers, a 300 batting average, that's in the dirt. Runners take off and everybody's safe. So Aoki aggressive on the base paths. And that'll have to go as a wild pitch.
Yeah, didn't get too far away from Castro, but far enough. That's because Aoki anticipating the baseball in the dirt and just barely able to get into third base.
Ramirez is 2 for 2 tonight. He homered in the second. A 447-foot blast. Singled his last time up. He scored twice. 27th homer of the year. He drove in number 102 for the season. You know, if you drive in 76 runs or 77 runs, it doesn't mean that much. But you drive in the difference between 99 and 100, just to the eyeballs, looks
right
so much different.
It's like 299 and 300 for a batting average.
That was like Prince last year.
Right.
He hit 299. Can't call him a 300 hitter, even though essentially he was. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning. Aoki and Braun aboard in the bottom of the 4th. And off the foot of Fick. 1 run is in.
That might have been an out had he not kicked it.
I think you're right.
I think Tyler Green up the middle would have had a play on him.
Instead,
Fick instinctively kicked at the baseball and knocked it over towards shortstop. Check it out. I'm not a bad job kicking that baseball.
That's an infield hit and an RBI.
I wish I could come up with a name of a soccer player, but I can't. The only one that comes to mind is Beckham.
Oh, okay, that's good. I thought you were going to drop a Pele on us.
That's not.
That was your other one?
Yeah. Let's see, 70 years old. I should have called up Dan LeRae, our director of team travel. He'd give me about 100 different names.
Sure.
He loves soccer. It's got to be a base hit, right?
Infield hit and an RBI for sure. The 10th hit for the Brewers. So here's Corey Hart with 2 homers tonight. And a 3-run home run in the 3rd inning. Has 4 RBIs tonight. Giving him 83 for the season. Brewers with 2 30 home run seasons in Braun and Hart, and Aramis Ramirez with 27. Had a chance to have 3 do it this year. Way outside. Nice play by Castro.
Hey, Victor, there's a lot of sliders. Got him off of waivers from the St. Louis Cardinals, did the Astros. Fick. Astros have a lot of players that 6-year free agents in the minor leagues, claimed off of waivers. And Fick, one of them.
One and 2 the count. Nori Aoki, who had a 1-out double, scores the 8th run from the RBI by Ramirez. Braun over third base. He walked. By the way, that double by Aoki matches a franchise record for extra base hits in the month of September, tying Corey Hart, who did it in 07, and George Scott, 1975. It's a long checklist of milestones here with this club this year offensively. It's been a great year at the plate for the Brewers. Hart, and it's caught. Dominguez brings it down to end the inning. Brewers add to their lead. It's 8-0 as we head to the 5th.
The Brewers with an 8-0 lead. They have 198 home runs now. 3 tonight. Ramirez with his 27. Gave the Brewers a 1-0 lead. Corey Hart came right back. Back-to-back 29th home run. And Corey was not done. Hart in the third inning, a 3-run shot, a towering drive to right. Home run number 30 for Corey Hart. And I'm doing it on 1 foot. Our GMC keys to the game.
The hobbled Corey Hart. He and Ramirez, big nights. 8-0 Brewers. We head to the top of the 5th inning. Marco Estrada is working on a shutout. He's given up 3 hits tonight to the Astros. 2 of them came last inning. Matt Dominguez leads off, and first pitch is outside for ball 1. Marco Estrada making his final start of the season as Dominguez lines one to left, a base hit. And a leadoff single for the Astros.
That brings us to tonight's Tavern of the Game winner, Wilson's Bar in Madison. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game in April of May of next year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and our good friends at Miller Lite. 902-4572 if you're wondering.
Well, the Badgers leading tonight 14-3 over Nebraska. If you're back and forth between that game and ours. Been a lot of fun here tonight at Miller Park. Brewers lead 8-0 on 3 home runs. Corey Hart has 4 RBIs already. Nationals lead the Cardinals 4-0. That game's in the bottom of the 5th. Brewers need a miracle. They need the Cardinals to lose all 5. And the Brewers have to win their last 5.
And the Dodgers have to do some losing.
Yeah, they need to lose 2, and it would be a 3-way tie if that happens. That would present some logistical challenges. That'd be fun to figure it out, though.
Yeah. As long as the Brewers are involved, I'm all for it.
Swing and a miss, and down goes Green on strikes. Another strikeout for Marco Estrada. It's his 4th, make it his 5th, beg your pardon.
High fastball, and Green not able to catch up to it. I think he's sitting on that curveball thinking he's going to throw him an off-speed pitch and rise the fastball up in his zone.
Here's Brandon Barnes, who has made the catch of the night in Major League Baseball tonight, robbing Segura of perhaps an inside the park home run. And he turned it into a double play. That was back in the 3rd inning. Day game tomorrow for the Brewers. Be the final game of the series with Houston. And it'll be Mike Fiers. He'll be making his final start. Jordan Lyles for the Astros. First pitch at 1:10. We're on the air at 12:30 for the Brewers Live pregame show. A win tonight for Milwaukee will secure a .500 season at least. It would be their 81st victory. Swing and a foul tip right into the middle. Lucroy and a strikeout. Number 6 for Marco Estrada.
And another high fastball with 2 strikes. This one up and away, and Barnes with a big swing. Well, the best seats, prices, perks, and the best of Brewers baseball. It's all yours with a season ticket package. For more information, call 414-902-HITS. 2013 Brewers season tickets.
Quick trip to the mound for Rick Kranitz. Astros have announced a pinch hitter, Jimmy Paredes. Been a good bounce back so far for Marco Estrada. Got roughed up in his last start in Washington, D.C., and he's come back strong tonight. So a pinch hitter in the pitcher spot, Paredes. And a runner at first, Dominguez.
Paredes, one of 4 switch hitters on the bench for the Houston Astros.
Mickey Story in the bullpen for Houston.
We've been talking all year about, switch hitting, a dying art. Astros have 4 of them.
Not dying with the Astros. But there aren't many left. It's usually the speed guys who are right-handed batters. And if they get to them young enough, they make them turn around, hit left-handed, utilize their speed a little bit. Remember Scott Kubal?
I do.
He's the hitting coach of the Texas Rangers. So when he was growing up, his dad wanted him to be a switch hitter, so he hit one way all season from Little League all the way up until high school. And then they let him switch hit, but he'd go a whole season left-handed, the next season right-handed.
I told you what my dad answered me when I asked him if I could switch hit.
The principal?
Yeah, he said, when you get a hit every time up right-handed, I'll let you hit left-handed. Needless to say, that never happened.
Probably stumped your career. You know, a left-handed hitting catcher, switch hitting catcher could have hung around a long time.
Stumped?
There's a swing and a miss, and Estrada strikes out the side. 7 Ks for Marco Estrada. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Milwaukee Brewers. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent of the Brewers Baseball Club. 8-0 Milwaukee as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Time now to take a look at our Jimmy John's high-speed delivery. Dallas Keuchel, 90 miles an hour. He didn't last long tonight. Could not get through the third. Estrada working on a shutout, a 4-hitter through 5 innings. He's topping out at 92.
Well, doing exactly what he has to do with a big lead, throwing strikes. Getting ahead of the Astros and then being able to make some pretty good pitches.
Jonathan Lucroy leads off. Has one of the Brewers' 10 hits tonight. He's 1 for 2. A single and a run scored in the second inning. New pitcher is Mickey Story.
Decent numbers for Story. He's got 32 strikeouts in a little over 27 innings. 25th appearance. He spent most of the year in AAA. Got called up in early August.
Lucroy cannot check his swing, and it's 1-2. Astros AAA is in Oklahoma City in the Pacific Coast League. Tony DeFrancesco, who is managing the Astros now, he was their skipper this year. Astros relieved Brad Mills of his managerial duties. Brought DeFrancesco up. He said it's his goal to play 500 ball in the final month, and Astros have a chance to do that. They're a couple under right now. Got to be tough on Tony DeFrancesco, though. He was one of the finalists for the managerial job, and the Astros announced that position last week. Bo Porter, the Washington Nationals third base coach, will be the next Astros manager. He's a Houston area resident. But I would imagine that was tough news on Tony DeFrancesco, and yet he still has to manage his club. Why not wait?
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, you ask a lot of folks, general managers, about that situation, and kind of a head scratcher as to why they would announce it now. It kind of puts Bo Porter in a difficult position over in Washington. Everybody over there knowing he's going to be gone.
Lucroy out to Barnes in center field for the first out.
It's going to be a while for the Astros, that's for sure. They made some very interesting moves. They have completely decimated their club over the last 3 years, trading away a lot of their marquee names and getting some lower level minor league talent. And they're going to the American League next year, which doesn't make things even much easier.
Yeah, the American League West. Doug Melvin talked about how great the travel is for the Brewers as far as the selling point for free agents. Milwaukee right here in the middle of the country. Right off the end of the bat, Gomez for the base hit. His second hit. The Astros are going to increase their mileage, their travel mileage significantly next year. Trips to Seattle and Anaheim. They're hoping to start that Lone Star State rivalry with the Texas Rangers, but that's going to be a few years. Although you never know. I mean, look at the Oakland A's. I don't think anybody expected them to be in the position they're in this season. If you looked at that club last year. A's won again today. They had a thrilling comeback win to beat the Mariners. The White Sox lost to the Rays today, and the Tigers beat the Twins. So Detroit ups their lead in the American League Central. Back to 2 games. Robin Ventura's club in Chicago has been terrible here down the stretch. I think they've lost 8 of their last 10 games.
Yeah. 2-10 in their last 10. 2-8, I should say. And Oakland A's won their 90th game today.
Verlander won today. The Tigers. Picked up his 17th. Remember Grant Balfour?
I do.
He was the winner for the A's today.
Former Brewer?
Yeah, is their closer.
Was he?
Updating the score in St. Louis. It's still 4-0 Washington. Michael Morse with a grand slam. That game's in the 6th inning now. Braves are leading the Mets 2-0. 7th inning. Atlanta's already secured home field advantage for the wild card round. They're hoping for a division title. It's a long shot for them. Braves are 4 back with 5 to play. Segura into right center. That ball's well hit. And it one hops out. Ground rule double for Gene Segura. As Gomez comes flying around third. He popped the parachute.
I mean, nothing upsets Gomez more than being stopped. Even on a ground rule double, it looked like he was upset at Eddie. Hanging curveball from Story, and I'll tell you, Gene Segura just continues to look better and better as a hitter. Waits back and drives that baseball in the right center. He should be 2 for 2 with a walk. Great play in center his previous time up. Robbed him of a base hit.
Yeah, Segura's batting average now at .286. He's hitting around .400 his last 18 games. Infield end, here's Marco Estrada. The fastball inside. Boy, a night for the hitter for the Brewers tonight. 8 runs on 12 hits. We're only in the 5th inning. Marco has 3 runs batted in this season. Could pick up a couple more right here. A swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. He says strike. Yes, Andy Fletcher. Nope. Oh, okay. It's not for a lack of want to from Estrada. He has 4 hits this year. 2 of them are doubles.
He's got a lot of room down that left field line. I'd like to see that.
Yes, he does. Astros do not feel that Estrada is going to be able to turn on a Mickey Story fastball. Look at all that space.
Yep, and they're shallow.
That's where his doubles went. Got some birthdays tonight, Rob. Mark Atanasio, it's his birthday. Brewers owner. He and Tyler Thornburg share a birthday. If you're keeping score. Since you're the birthday guy, as Estrada strikes out, 2 outs in the inning.
I'm the birthday guy?
Yeah, I think you are this year officially.
I got to be more up on players' birthdays. I'm really not.
That's a Mike Casalo thing.
Yeah, Tyler Thornburg got 24 today.
Might see him on Tuesday. Willie Peralta was supposed to start. He will not.
And one of 3 pitchers that Marking Cannon said might get the start. Stinson, Levon Hernandez, and Thornburg. You know who I'm rooting for, don't you?
Who you got?
Levo.
Always entertaining to see Livan Hernandez start a game.
I'd like to see him get some at bats.
Yes. I'll go for that. Doesn't mean you can't see Thornburg or Stinson, you know,
Exactly.
later. Two outs for Aoki with 2 on. Aoki has a couple of RBIs tonight. Drove in 2 with a single in the second inning. He also tied a franchise record with a double in the 4th. The most extra base hits in the month of September.
He'd win a couple of adult beverages in a bet on that one right there. Extra base hits in franchise history in September.
Yep. George Scott and Corey Hart and Nori Aoki.
Right.
One more extra base hit and he'll have it all to himself. Ooh, in tight. That hit him. Foul ball. Fouls it away. The fact that he's 30 and the fact that he was an established star in Japan hurts his cause of the Rookie of the Year, but he's put up the numbers to be considered. No question. Center field, well hit. Back is Barnes with room. He's got it at the track, and the inning is over. 8-0 Brew Crew. We head to the 6th.
Here, top 6. Marco trying to finish the year on a positive note. He told me this has been an important season for him. He's become more comfortable as a starter, learned a lot about the mental approach to pitching. Marco told me at the beginning of this season he wasn't sure about his long-term prospects. If for 2013 the Brewers wanted him as a starter, reliever, or perhaps not at all. But Marco says he feels well about his efforts. He says he's done well enough to at least get into the heads of Brewer management, and always good to be in the picture, guys.
Absolutely, and his is one of the names that pops up a great deal when you talk about last season's division title. Ron Renicky effusive in his praise of Marco Estrada and the job that he did for the Brewers last year, filling in as a spot starter and pitching in middle relief. Unheralded but necessary. Estrada never made more than 7 starts in any season in the big leagues. His 23rd start of the year tonight, and he's putting together his best ERA in the big leagues this year. There's a 3.87 ERA coming in. Last year was his best year in the major leagues. He was 4-8 with a 4.08 earned run average. Altuve, a little flare out to center field. Easy play for Gomez for out number 1. Estrada's been almost down and out on a few occasions in his career, so he takes nothing for granted.
And he's been invaluable for Milwaukee the last couple of years. And the one thing that might hurt him next year is the fact that he's so good out of the bullpen. One of the few guys that the Brewers have in that starting rotation right now that when you look to next year, if in fact the Brewers do go out and get some pitching, Estrada might find himself in the bullpen.
A victim of his own success.
Right.
Knowing that he can come out of the bullpen to be a spot starter, and if there are injuries, he can do that well. Not a lot of guys can do that. Especially young guys who have been starters throughout their minor league career. Take a look at his big league stats over the last 3 years. That 2010 season, he was injured a great deal that year. And that's when he was taken off the roster, and he re-signed with the Brewers just to be a minor league pitcher before he got the chance to fill in for Greinke. 2 up and 2 down. Now tomorrow the Packers will try to recover from having a victory stolen in Seattle when they face the Saints at Lambeau Field. Paul Imig's preview is up at foxsportswisconsin.com. And he'll have coverage of the game tomorrow as well. Two outs for Brett Wallace. Wallace with a single tonight. He's 1 for 2. And swing and a miss. Estrada threw him the Fosh. That's the thing about Marco Estrada. He has an excellent changeup.
Changeup, curveball, and he throws for strikes. Locates very well with a fastball. That's what sets everything up. That's a key pitch for every pitcher.
He threw another changeup. And a fastball by him. That's the effect of the changeup right there. Makes a 90-mile-an-hour fastball look much faster than that.
Especially when you get it inside. Off speed, bust them in. And yeah, those off speed pitches, those changeups really slow the bat down, and that makes the fastball effective.
Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Another fastball from Estrada. He's racking them up tonight. 6 shutout innings with 8 punch-outs. Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by the new Miller Lite Punch Top Can. It's Miller time.
Get your tickets now for Brewers on Deck, presented by Time Warner Cable. That's on Sunday, January 27th. Buy them by November 1st to get a voucher for a select Brewers home game next April. Visit brewers.com/on-deck for details.
Well, you got to do that. That's a great event.
Yep, be right around the corner. It's going to be here before you know it.
As will Halloween. I think that's where we're headed with that. Costume night here at the ballpark. Another birthday. Big birthday night here. It's like a giant version of the nitty-gritty. The birthday place.
Yeah. Fun for the whole family here at the old ballpark. Something for everybody.
Yep. Got to come to the ballpark while you can. Those long winter months without it. That's why that on-deck event's so cool. It's always a packed house. 12 to 15,000 there at the convention center. And mostly all the players will come back. Coaches, manager, Ron Renneke. Got two choices that time of year. You can either go to the on-deck event or go to fantasy camp. Can't go wrong with either. Weeks bounces out for the first out of the 6th.
That's right. First day of fantasy camp is January 27th. That's why I have not been able to get to the on-deck event last couple of years. Team streak we're celebrating. A salute to the 1987 Brewers. 13-0 start, and he gave us no hitter. Paul Molitor's 39-game hitting streak. We're going to have try and get Rick Manning to talk about that base hit that he got that ultimately cost Paulie his hitting streak. That's what everybody thinks anyway.
Yeah, he got booed. A walk-off hit and got booed for it.
Right.
In his home ballpark. Poor Rick Manning. As Braun takes the ball inside. Just go to brewers.com/fantasycamp and you can find out more. So it's no accident that we schedule the on-deck event around fantasy camp.
And that would be why? Keep me away?
A Schroederless on-deck event.
It's better that way?
And an Anderson-less fantasy camp.
You guys kind of missed you last year.
I know Dan Wright did, the athletic trainer. I spent a lot of time in there. I didn't mean to.
And some of the campers missed hitting you with pitches. Yeah, signups are going very well. We're at 52, which is way ahead of schedule. We used to get most of our signups in October.
What do you have? Let's see, 9-man teams? Is that about right? 10-man teams?
10, 11. Yep, 16. Somewhere between 70 and 80. It's going well.
It's great fun. Got to be 30 years of age, though.
We've got 3 women signed up.
Nice. Some good ball players there.
Yeah.
Line drive center field. That's down. A base hit. Braun keeps hitting. 2 more hits today. And that takes him to a .320 batting average. His average has been on a steady rise.
He just continues to get better as the season goes on, and he goes down and gets that breaking pitch that ended up on the inside corner, and it's a perfect form for Braun. I mean, hardly ever off balance. Even when he doesn't get a good swing, he got that ball down on the trademark a little bit and able to dump it into center field.
He's the best in the business right now. I know Miguel Cabrera gets a lot of notoriety, and it's easy to say that he's, you hear that Cabrera is the best right-handed hitter in the game, but I'd put Braun up against anybody.
No doubt. Especially when the game's on the line.
Not taking anything away from Cabrera. That's how good Braun is. Ramirez off the end of the bat. Sky's out for the second out of the inning. You get the feeling Braun can pretty much do what he wanted. You know, if he feels like he needs to get his average up, he'll do that. If he wants to hit homers, he does that.
Yep. He puts his mind to it. I agree.
Corey Hart at the plate, presented by Wendy's. What a night. 2 homers. He was retired in the 4th on a line drive out to 3rd. He hit that ball well. 4 runs batted in for Hart.
And had that ball gotten into left field, that would have been another RBI.
Most home runs he's ever hit in a season, 31. Back in 2010, that was an all-star year for him. Two and one. Threw him a breaking ball. Corey Hart, 30 years of age this season. Got 9 years here in Milwaukee. He was an all-star in 08 and in 2010 as a right fielder. And a position change for him and might have added to his value. He's such a good first baseman. As he draws the walk. 2 on with 2 away for Jonathan Lucroy.
Story wanted no part of him right there. Throwing a 3-1 slider that was down. More willing to go after Jonathan Lucroy.
Now Lucroy is 1 for 3 tonight. Singled and scored in the second inning. Brewers lead 8-0. We're in the 6th inning. A 4-run second, scored 3 in the 3rd, added 1 in the 4th. Meanwhile, Marco Estrada with 6 shutout innings, and he has 8 strikeouts tonight. And 2 on Lucroy. Slow roller out to second base. Altuve, the all-star, makes it play. Side retired. The Brewers strand 2. We head to the 7th. 8-0 Brewers. books here. Game summary brought to you by Toyota. Back-to-back home runs in the second inning. Ramirez put the Brewers on the board with his 27th. And the next hitter, Corey Hart, went deep with his 29th of the year. The Brewers would go on to score 2 more in that second inning. And then Hart again in the third inning, a 3-run home run to the opposite field. 4 ribbies for Corey Hart, his 30th home run of the season. Meanwhile, Marco Estrada, 6 shutout innings. He has 8 strikeouts. 4 strikeouts away from a career high. The Brewers trying to average 10 strikeouts per game till the end of the regular season on Wednesday. And if they do that, they will set a major league record for strikeouts in a season by a pitching staff.
Man, who would have thought going into the season? Well, Marco Estrada having a pretty good game here tonight up to this point. And no runs. That would be his 3rd of his last 4. 3 of his last 4 starts, he did not give up a run. But he's not done here tonight.
Fernando Martinez leads off for Houston, their cleanup hitter. Estrada trying to go out with a bang tonight. His last start of the season. I suppose he'd be available to pitch out of the bullpen the rest of the way, especially on Tuesday when Renicky will call on a spot starter that day. Peralta will not make a start on Tuesday. There's a swing and a miss. That didn't take long. 3 pitches. Strikeout number 9 for Marco Estrada.
He's really getting most of his strikeouts lately on that fastball. Up and in. Martinez not able to get to it. And Marco Estrada is starting to rack him up. 5 of his last 7 outs, strikeouts.
Struck out the side in the 5th inning. And 9 for the game now. 3 times he's had double-digit strikeout games. What's impressive about Estrada is, you know, he didn't pick up his first win until the 3rd week of August. He started the season 0-5, and it's not that he was pitching poorly. That was right in the middle of the Brewers giving up some late leads. And it seemed like Estrada was the one guy who had some leads get away, some blown saves behind him.
Yeah, blown saves. Sometimes didn't get a lot of run support. Would pitch well, would end up with a no decision. And things have turned for him. He's in a pretty good stretch, except for his last start.
He's won 4 of his last 6 decisions, and has a chance with a win tonight to go 5-7. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts. Number 10 for Marco Estrada.
And what is the pitch again? That's right, fastball right on the corner. And Castro strings right through it. I think it's the big hacks coming up empty.
So 2 gone on 2 strikeouts, and here is Matt Dominguez. Strike 1.
See what he's got into their heads. He has them thinking curveball and changeup. And what he's doing the 3rd time through, third time through, is firing fastballs right by him.
There's another one, bounced over to 3rd. Side retired. Marco Estrada, 7 strong tonight. A 4-hit shutout thus far. He struck out every Astro at least once.
pulse of social media, and tonight we asked fans to get on the campaign trail for Ryan Braun in what we think has been an MVP-worthy season and whether he can claim a back-to-back MVP. So let's get right to the tweets. Derek said, Braun should be MVP because he contributes in every category. He steals bases and hits for power and contact. We heard from Gold Cheesehead, who said nobody in the NL has dominated this year like Braun. And Shayna said Braun has put up better numbers than last season, which no one else in the game can compare to. BA and Rock, the fans have weighed in. They voted. They think he's worthy. What about you guys?
Oh, yeah. We're in. We're all in. We don't get a vote, but we're in.
We've been in for a while.
I think Sophia should come up with her favorite list of Twitter handles we've had this year. I like the golden cheese. That was nice.
That'd be a good segment.
Yeah. Work on that. Work that up. Brandon Laird will take over at third base. And the new pitcher for the Astros, Ariel Del Rosario. And he'll face Carlos Gomez to start it. 8-0 Milwaukee. Brewers having their way with the Astros tonight in front of a little over 34,000 here in the ballpark.
You talk all you want about the offense. It's been very good, but you know, Marco's been doing what he's had to do, throwing strikes, not messing around, trying to get cute out there, just pumping fastballs and getting the job done.
Bullpen's quiet. Looks like Estrada will head back out for the 8th. Pitch count right around 100. But it's going to be his last start of the season, so he's got a shutout going. Let him roll.
Yep. Well, you certainly want him to feel good about, you know, things as he goes into the off season, and after this start, you would think that he will.
I think he just called a shot there. I think he said he's going deep. It's like Babe Ruth.
No, I just think he's wiping his nose.
I'm pretty sure he pointed out to the bleachers in left field. Said, I'm going to send one out there. Laird makes a play to get the speedy Gomez for the first out. Rock, you ready for a text question?
I am.
Okay, it's courtesy of Ho-Chunk Gaming. Chris in Brookfield. What has impressed you most about Carlos Gomez in the second half of the season?
Well, I guess the power numbers. I mean, the power numbers are there for Gomez, and I think you know, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? I mean, do you get a lot of playing time and all of a sudden then you start to hit, or do you start to hit and then get playing time? You know, Gomez came out of spring training in pretty good shape, and he got hurt, and it took him a while to come back, but you know, he won the job in center field a long time ago and has been pretty consistent. He hasn't really gone into a long stretch of hitless at bats. And I think one of the reasons for that is his speed. I mean, he can get an infield hit to keep himself out of that 0 for 4. Very aggressive on the bases.
You start to like this combo down at the bottom of the order with Gomez and Segura. And they've hit it off from the same country, from the Dominican Republic. And that's a nice little combo that the Brewers have. Gomez has worked himself into an everyday role now, and you figure he'll be the center fielder.
Been a pretty good bottom of the order, bottom half of the order. That's when Corey Hart's in the lineup.
Segura gets jammed, a bouncer over to short, and down he goes, out number 2. Now, Carlos Gomez has put all of his tools on display. Remember, in Cincinnati, made that great catch up against the wall, and then he hit a home run, the only run of the game for the Brewers on Thursday. And then another great catch in that game. Turned that one into a double play. And then how about this one last night? That was home run number 18 of the season for Gomez. And then another catch on the reel for Gomez. Just makes it look so easy out there. Oh, what a defender he is.
Yeah. He doesn't have to play real deep because he has good instincts. He breaks back on the baseball very well and not afraid to go back, take his eye off the ball as it gets out to him, and then pick it up. And the other thing about Gomez and his at bats, I mean, he's always been a pretty good fastball hitter, but he's been able to wait back on the breaking pitches this year. I think that is because he's been getting so many at bats. I mean, the more at bats you get, the more comfortable you get, the more confident you get, and you can wake back on off-speed pitches.
I think the only real decision the Brewers have, position player-wise, is whether you're going to give Segura the job to start the year at shortstop. And I think if you'd have brought that question up 3 weeks ago, the answer would probably be no. But the way he swung the bat here, I don't know. I mean, he's played himself into at least an opportunity next season as Estrada does not hit one out. He grounds out to third to end the inning. And he's heading back to the mound working on a shutout.
Sunday at 12:30 p.m. for Game 3 in the series at Miller Park. We can expect plenty of sunshine. It's going to be nice and quiet. Our first pitch coming in at 61 degrees with winds out of the east-northeast.
It's like another great day here in Milwaukee. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap day game tomorrow right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin. If you can't join us here at the ballpark, 12:30 is airtime tomorrow. The Packers play the late afternoon game, so plenty of time to catch them both. First pitch at 1:10 tomorrow. And the final matchup between the Brewers and the Astros, Mike Fiers against Jordan Lyles. Marco Estrada has been the story tonight. The Brewers gave him a lot of runs early. It's 8-0, and Estrada working on a 4-hit shutout with 10 strikeouts. The Brewers do not have a complete game this year, and you wonder, being his last start of the season in our Marshfield Clinic shining moment of the game, you wonder if Renicky will give him a chance to do it.
Well, if his pitch count is going to be under control, which it is right now, he might get an opportunity, but he's scattered 4 base hits. He's struck out 6 of his last 9 outs, and doing it in large part with a very good fastball late in the game.
Estrada has retired 9 in a row and 11 of his last 12. All of the hits were singles. Only 2 runners have reached second base tonight, and Estrada picked one of those off. Tyler Green leads off, a strikeout victim in the 5th. Two balls, no strikes. Estrada had a 10 strikeout game against the Pirates on the 1st of September. Well, you like to see him finish strong. Estrada has never gone deeper than 7 innings. So with one more out, he will establish a new career best. Livan Hernandez is stirring in the bullpen. And he's ready.
One pitch, he's ready.
He threw the Rosenbag. That counts as something. Two and two on Green. Bouncing ball to short. Segura for the out. One away. 10 in a row retired by Estrada. And a career high for innings pitched in a start. That's how you do it. He's gone 7 innings 7 times in his career.
He's only needed 104 pitches to get through 6 1/3. Or check that, 7 1/3.
This is Estrada's 4th 10 strikeout game, and they have all come this season. Got 12 against the Reds, 11 and 10 against the Pirates in 2 separate starts. What's impressive about Estrada's night tonight, to go along with the 10 strikeouts, 1 walk.
And when's the last time he threw something other than a fastball? It's been a couple innings.
There's another fastball. 1 and 2 the count.
Locate the fastball well. Doesn't really matter, does it? And what he did was he established off-speed curveballs, changeups early in the game, and went on the attack with a fastball late in the game.
And there's a great lesson in there. If you're a young pitcher watching, if you want to be great, perfect the fastball and the changeup. Command on the fastball and the changeup.
Yep, and pitch with an 8-run lead.
And 8 runs. One and 2. Another fastball. He reached back for a little extra that time.
No, but you're right. I mean, if you want to be successful, you have to be able to command the fastball. You got to put it on the corners. Sets up everything else. Doesn't matter how hard you throw.
Foul tip into the mid of Lucroy. Barnes strikes out. Number 11 for Marco Estrada. Another fastball.
I'd like to know how many fastballs he's thrown in a row, because I don't remember a fastball in the last, since the 5th inning.
So here's Brandon Laird batting for the first time. He came in on the double switch. 2 outs in the 8th. Yet another fastball. This is impressive.
Locating him pretty well. That last one right on the corner. Still has good control of the pitch. 110 now. 111.
Here comes a curveball. What a beauty that was. Man. He's on his game. Well, if he retires Laird, there's going to be an interesting conversation in the dugout between innings. You know, Estrada would love to finish this game. The Brewers do not have a complete game this season. The Rockies are the only other team without a complete game, but they don't let their starters go more than 75 pitches.
Well, since he's got an 8-0 lead, I think maybe it could be possible.
Look at Lucroy pumping the fist. Curveball coming in the air, playable for Braun. And Marco Estrada rocking and rolling here at Miller Park. What a way to finish a season.
Like he's done 8 innings of shutout baseball, just 4 hits, 11 strikeouts, and the offensive support that he got from Corey Hart tonight, pretty impressive. 4 RBIs, couple of home runs, and Davey, he's been battling, of course, that left arch injury tonight. No sign.
Superman. Yeah. I mean, Corey's been awesome. He's taken some pitches. You know, he drove a home run to left field, but then he drove the other one to right center field that was just crushed. And, you know, he's right on his game. It's surprising that when I talked to him the other day about his foot, he said it just bothered him a little bit when he swings. But apparently, it ain't bothering him enough.
Well, we hope to catch up with Corey Hart and Marco Estrada after this game. A big advantage for Milwaukee right now, 8-0 as they try to even up this series and get to a guaranteed .500 record. Not too shabby, guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Craig and Davey. Looking forward to Brewers Live as Aoki delivers a base hit to right. That's his 3rd hit of the ball game. Now Marco Estrada, 8 shutout, 11 Ks. He retires 12 in a row to finish. And 14 of 15. 14 of his last 15 batters he retired.
Well, the only reason why you might think that the Brewers would allow him to finish was that he had a shutout going. And the fact that his pitch count is up near 115, Ron Renneke decides that that's going to be enough. You saw all the high fives in the dugout, and what a way to finish the season. Well done.
Estrada can go to 5-7 with the victory tonight. Eric Ferris is going to pinch hit for Ricky Weeks with Aoki at first. I've got Estrada's ERA to 3.64 with the 8 shutout innings tonight. Comes within 1 of a career high for strikeouts with 11 Ks. And it is a career high for innings pitched for Estrada. Eric Ferris, a September call-up. Versatile player. He's a second baseman by trade, but he can play second, short, and third. You can put him in the outfield.
He makes good contact and runs very well. Steals some bases for you.
Harris hit .286 in AAA this year. Had 35 stolen bases, which was 4th in the PCL. Broken bat, and that's going to fall. And the Astros, that's thrown away. Aoki on his way to 3rd. It's got to go as a hit for Eric Ferris. That ball had a lot of spin on it.
Now it'll be an E6. Tyler Green tried to get Aoki at second base. That was really his only shot. Aoki couldn't get a quick break off of first base. Wasn't sure it was going to be caught or not. And just threw it to center field.
So Ferris is aboard. Assuming that'll be a hit and an error that allows Aoki to 3rd. Runners at the corners now for Nyjer Morgan. By the way, number 1 for Eric Ferris as Morgan takes a ball. "14 hits for the Brewers. For Eric Ferris, that is his first hit. He had 6 at-bats. He was 0 for his first 6 in the big leagues. Had 1 at-bat last year, and he was 0 for 5 this year. He'll tell his grandkids one day it was just a rocket into the gap at Miller Park.
Yep. Just ate up the 3rd shortstop. That's a hit.
His hands are still buzzing. It's a hit. It is in the big league book. And Morgan down on strikes. Pinch hitting for Braun. Out number 1. And now it'll be Logan Schaefer. Pinch hitting for Ramirez. Cardinals are making a comeback against the Nationals. Washington was able to survive the 7th inning. They still lead 4-3. Nationals up 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th. A Michael Morse grand slam home run in the first inning, still holding up. Schaefer fouls it away. Over in the American League, the Yankees lost today. The Orioles won. So the O's are in a first place tie with the New York Yankees. What a story. That is a story.
Yes, it is.
The Orioles.
Buck Showalter, manager of the year in the American League. Anybody else close?
Bob Melvin of the A's, maybe.
Right.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, you're right.
In the air to center field, deep. That's going to be deep enough to score a run. And Logan Schaefer with his 5th big league RBI drives in Nori Aoki, and it's 9-0. 2 outs in the inning. And Renick's going to send Travis Ishikawa to the plate now for Corey Hart. So Hart finishes 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs, 2 home runs. Aramis Ramirez 3 for 4 with 2 runs batted in, including a home run. And Braun was 2 for 3. Middle of the order. Doing big damage tonight. Travis Ishikawa. And he lines one to third. That will retire the side. We head to the ninth. Last call for Houston. All Brewers tonight. Marco Estrada, a great night tonight. He is out going to the ninth inning and a bunch of changes. This is where we like to play follow the director with Kevin Shank. Nigel Morgan, left field, takes over for Braun. There's Logan Schaefer. He's in center. Now checking in right field. I beg your pardon. And there's Jeff the Yankee. Will take over at third base for Ramirez. Eric Ferris stays in after his first big league hit. Still trying to shake the bees out of his hands. He's at second. Ishikawa at first base. Still more coming. Yorvi Torrealba making his Miller Park debut as a Brewer.
Only man left, Carlos Gomez in center field.
And Segura at short.
And Segura, my mistake.
And the new pitcher, Livan Hernandez, for the ninth. Top of the order coming up. Marco Estrada, big story tonight. Goes 8 shutout innings, the longest outing of his career. Strikes out 11. They're looking for win number 5. His final start of the season. Still a chance you could see him in the bullpen. It's unlikely, but you never know. Get into a long game, and maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. But his season as a starter is over. As Altuve skies one to right for the first out. Well, until they put an X by your name, you're still in play. And the Brewers, even though the Cardinals have an elimination number of 1 over Milwaukee, they still have a chance. Nationals still lead 4-3. They go to the bottom of the 8th in St. Louis. Dodgers and Rockies are underway. They're scoreless in the 4th. There's going to be a lot of questions in some of these cities. Think about if the Dodgers don't make the postseason. And that gets by Ferris as Scott Moore, a base hit to right. You think about the Dodgers, the Angels. I mean, it's no guarantee for the Yankees. They're in a vulnerable spot themselves.
Right. Dodgers are going to be the surprise. I mean, the money that they took on at the trading deadline this year, $250 million they added to their payroll going forward.
They were able to help the Red Sox clean slate. Basically, the Red Sox, you know, the Boston Red Sox are going to be players this offseason. They've got a lot of money to spend. Well, with 6 weeks to play, the Brewers were 12 games under 500, and 2 more outs, and Brewers will guarantee a 500 season. That's not the goal, but that's pretty impressive after
from where they were,
the hole that they put themselves.
Yeah, 12 games over 500 and still games to be played.
Doug Melvin made a great point about Ron Renicky and his reputation that is getting out there, and players, they talk in each league, and they're always asking about different managers. And I remember going into Baltimore this year, and I saw J.J. Hardy, and he goes, "Man, I'm hearing great things about your manager." And I go, "J.J. Hardy of the Baltimore Orioles."
Right.
So that's a good sign.
Word spreads quickly.
Yeah, it does. Wallace pops it up. Almost in his tracks, Gomez. For out number 2. We'll do it again tomorrow, a day game. And we'll see if Mike Fiers can have the kind of finish that Marco Estrada had. Well, you know, Fiers would love to break into double digits. He's sitting on 9 wins. He's 9-9. I think Mike Fiers would love to win 10 games in his rookie season. That would be something. Mike fires against Jordan Lyles tomorrow. Couple of right-handers. That ball is hit hard center field. Back is Gomez looking up, and that one is off the wall, or nope, it's gone. Off the back wall behind the fence. As Fernando Martinez says, I'll show you what a cleanup hitter looks like. So he hits a 2-run homer. Just his 4th of the year.
And hit that one well. Got good extension and a line drive bullet out of here to center field. So much for the shutout. Over that back wall and back into play.
Jason Castro. There's a strike. Bernie's ready to go home. He's got this one in the books. Line drive base hit. Astros making some noise here with 2 outs. Bow tie tomorrow, Rock?
No, no bow tie tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Last game of the season.
I think you should bring bow ties for everyone.
I did that last year. You know why I'm hesitant in doing it? I had to tie like what? How many? 7 bow ties?
It's like first grade all over again.
Although I'd like to see Augie in a bow tie.
That would be good. I thought Davey pulled it off well.
Right, he did.
Brian Bogusevic pinch hitting. Last chance to see the Astros as a National League team. That's motivation to come to the ballpark, right?
Yes, sir.
Center field deep. Gomez at the wall, and another one's out of here. So another 2-run home run. Three straight hits for the Astros makes it 9-4. As Bogusevic hits his 7th of the season.
Well, you figure that's going to get that Brewers bullpen active. Ron Renicky trying to get through this game and have Hernandez finish it off. A couple of 2-out home runs have got the Astros within 5.
That snaps an 0 for 17 for Brian Bogusevic. Renicky says, can someone give me the 27th out here? That has been the nemesis out for the Brewers all season.
Toughest one in the game.
Well, if they played 8 innings, 24 outs in a game, the Brewers would be sitting pretty right now. But they don't. Tyler Green takes a ball. 2-1. Hernandez has given up 4 runs on 4 hits. A pair of 2-run homers. That ball's deep. And another one out of here. 3 home runs in the inning. Tyler Green goes downtown. And the Astros are within 4. It's 9-5.
Well, Jose Barrios getting loose out in that bullpen, and not sure if he's ready yet. Imagine Ron Renegade getting a bit nervous out there in the dugout.
And that's going to do it for Yvonne Hernandez. Renegade will make the change. That defines the Brewers season right there. The 27th out, elusive. So a pitching change with 2 outs in the ninth. Here comes Barris. Five runs, all with 2 outs in the ninth inning. On 3 home runs.
And Ron Renegade forced to bring on Jose Barris to try and get that final out. All this damage come with 2 outs. 2 outs, a man at first base. 3 home runs and a single later. The Astros are within 4.
Fernando Martinez hit a 2-run homer. Brian Bogasevic a 2-run homer, and Tyler Green a solo shot. So it's 9-5, and here comes Brandon Barnes as Jose Barris tries to finish this one off. Crowd of over 34,000 tonight. It was a laugher until this inning, and now the screws have tightened a little bit. Ron Hernandez goes 2/3 of an inning, gives up 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned. After Marco Estrada went 8 shutout. Astros had more hits in this inning than they had in 8 previous innings combined against Estrada. Can't give him a save, but there should be something you could give Jose Barris.
Pat on the back.
That'll do.
Post-game meal.
No balls, 2 strikes on Brandon Barnes. And he takes it. Big day for the Brewers offensively. 9 runs on 15 hits. Ramirez had a 3-hit game. Corey Hart had 2 homers today. Ramirez also with a home run. So Saw Eric Ferris come up with his first big league hit. One strike away. Veras deals a 1-2. Little flare. Right field. Aoki. He's got it. And it's all over. Astros score 5 in the 9th, but Marco Estrada wins. He goes to 5-7 in his last start. 8 shutout for Estrada with 11 Ks. Terrific performance. Much more still to come. We check in with Craig Cashon. What do you have coming up on Brewers Live, Craig?
Well, we're going to talk to the starter, Marco